He seems
all
willing.
right. We are live.
Awesome.
At you with a little special edition here. We got a Omnia Fishing Serious Angler collaboration of us. We got a good crew here watching Mr. SETH FEIDER fishing live from Lake Mille Lacs. And we got the Omnia crew in the house. We got Pete, Kip in the Omnia studio. Boys, what's going on?
We're having a good time already watching Seth out here. Had some minor technical stuff we're working our way through, but this is all a learning experience. We're having fun already. We got Ethan over here on the soundboard here. He's going to be reading us off some questions too, so make sure you're sending in all those questions. I know Seth already has had a bit of a productive morning, so can you give us kind of a recap of how the morning's gone so far, Seth?
Yeah. Like I said, I came out here a couple days ago and snooped around, so I had some spawners marked. Went through and made kind of a gamble with I wanted to get out I had one real nice one on the east side of the lake. It's blowing hard out of the west right now, so I went and cracked him right away this morning. That ended up being like a 21-incher, like a 5-pounder. Worked back towards the west shore and caught another nice one, like a 20.5, and then I don't know, a lot of them are kind of unfishable. It was getting too rough out there, so looked for some calmer water, and now we're up out of the wind with everybody else, trying to catch one. I just found one on perspective that I didn't know was there, but he's bit me a couple times. I don't know how big he is. We'll see here in a minute, hopefully.
Yeah, we do have some comments rolling in from literally people that are fishing right near you. So they're tuning in from the water.
No, it's a crowded little zone right here, but you're gonna get that with the wind, you know.
So what is the story with the wind today? What's it look like? Obviously, we're looking at it on Pro here, and
it
looks like
looks
it's a prevailing.
Pretty nice where we are, but I promise you, you get a little bit offshore, and it's a little bit out of control. We're in probably the calmest water on the lake right now, so
yeah. You're it's no secret where you are because there's obviously lots of boats and people seeing it there. You're in that violent section of the lake.
Yep.
But looks like we're looking at like a southwest wind. Is it more? It looks like more west than south.
This lake is it kind of blows in everywhere. Like if you get like today, we got a big west wind today. You go to the southwest corner, you'd swear it was blowing out of the north, and you go to the northwest corner and you'd swear it was blowing out of the south. It's just kind of how it goes here. It just kind of blows in everywhere when it's windy. So the only place that's really going to be out of the wind is going to be tight up along the west shore. And yeah, that's where everybody's going to be. And I think that's about where we're at for the rest of the day, probably.
What have you been catching them on this morning, Seth?
I did catch one on a fighter fly, but the rest have come on either a drop shot or a little tube, just bed fishing pretty much so far. I don't know what happened to this one. I don't see him anymore, which is weird. He was pretty fired up, but yeah, just light line with the drop shot. I've been doing like 6-pound tests and a little tiny hook. It just seems like that or a little tiny tube's the best way to get them there, or go with something really big. But these fish are like getting hammered on, you know. They're kind of hard to catch. A lot of them have been caught before, and so yeah, I've got most of them on a little drop shot with 6-pound line and a tiny little red line drop shot hook. So
nice.
Yeah, just kind of trying to finesse them. And I had one area right over here where I'd actually caught a pretty good wad of post spawners, but it was real dirty here the other day. Now it's clear, and they're not very bitey over there right now. I could see them swimming around on perspective, but they weren't doing much.
Big question for me. Did you drive the boat over from the east side to the west side of the lake, or did you pull out and trailer?
No, we just ran it.
Okay, so did cameraman Ben spear any waves across the lake?
Yeah, he got on the boat right away, speared the first one, and I kicked him on the driver's seat. So, yeah, I had to take back over. I thought I was going to have a chauffeur today, but he might be able to drive again now that we're on this side of the lake. It's not too bad.
Can we get any
But,
shots of your electronic setups up there so people can see
Yeah.
kind of what you're looking
Yeah,
at?
I could see this fish before. They want a shot of the graph here.
There we put it.
And the
Oh, yeah.
perspective's kind of weird. At
Nice.
the angle you're looking at it, you can see it better. It's kind of hard to see. You got two big rocks right here, and there's kind of just see that little depression just to the right of there.
Yeah.
That is a bed, and you could see a fish on it. When I got more to the right, it was more apparent. But that's kind of what I've been looking for, trying to catch them off perspective. Like, well, those ones I had out on the main lake were in like 12 feet of water, so I pretty much had to fish them like that. But problem with the perspective is it doesn't work real good when your trolling motor's out of the water half the time. So we had to come in, and a lot of times these fish, like I have a hard time. See, he's moving right there. If you can get him, that little shadow right there, that's him. See, he's swimming back to the bed right there.
Oh, cool.
You can see him
Yeah, that's
swimming
really
around the
cool.
bed. So it's hard to see them when they're sitting still, but when they start moving around, you can see them pretty good. So I'm probably going to do a lot of that today. Just keep my eyes on that perspective, and if I see a rock or a little depression or anything, kind of watch it for a second and see if anything swims around on it. So I'm not really sure why this fish has bit me like 3 times already. So I'm not sure what's taking so long. Maybe he really wants a drop shot. I don't know. As soon as I switch to the tube, he quit biting, but that's kind of typical with spawn. Or he's ripping back in again. I threw my tube in there. He kind of ran back to the bed pretty hard. So got him.
Oh,
Beautiful.
There we go.
We don't know
Looks
how
like-
big he is, but
Looks like a decent fish from this far away.
yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, he'll call. Looking like a, I don't know, 18er maybe. But I got a couple great big ones, and I got a couple real little ones I need to get rid of. So,
Okay.
Problem is one of the great big ones I found. We flogged it this morning. I did not see him, so I'm not sure if he's gone. I've noticed that before too. A lot of times with the smallmouths on beds, like this, they're not like a largemouth where he's getting up there, he's doing his deal, and he's gonna, stay put while he's there. These smallmouths are on beds so long. A lot of these fish will be on a bed for 2-3 weeks. So then they kind of just guard their area or whatever. But I've seen it a lot before where they'll oh dang, a wild one, where they'll just not be there in the morning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just be cruising around. He doesn't have eggs down. He hasn't met up with his female yet. He's just kind of guarding that phone. There we go.
There we go.
Beautiful.
Nice one.
Beauty.
My sneaky little baby too. All right, Brad, let's get a measure.
If you
Yeah,
haven't
what's
been
it
keeping
been
up,
like?
you go ahead, Bailey.
Yeah, what's it been like, Seth, putting them on the board versus putting them in the box?
A little different. It's kind of nice, though. I don't know how big he is. Looks like we got 18, or maybe not even. Yeah, 18. So I think that's a call. That'll help. Yeah, Brad
If
taking
you
the
haven't
pictures.
been keeping up with the Tourney X live leaderboard, Seth is currently in 20th place
Pre this call.
Yeah.
pre this call.
Okay.
So you
Yeah.
might move up a couple spots. with
Nice
that
little
one.
18-incher, probably
Beauty.
3 3/4, maybe 3.5. But back in the drink. We'll keep hunting them. We need some more 19s and 20s, but take what
We've
we
got
can
a guy
get.
down in Florida that's got 108 inches right now. It's going to be tough. But
Yeah,
Yeah,
like-
no, I don't. I'd be real happy with 100, but upper 90s should be doable, I think, today. Probably gonna have to get lucky and catch 1 or 2 big.
Do we have any idea?
Spawn cruisers, but yeah.
Do we have any idea who's leading the smallmouth portion of this deal? Like, I know there's not actually
There's one.
listed there. Oh, we got another
Little
one.
guy. Little
Little
blackie on the hair jig. Not gonna help.
All right,
Great
we've got a
answer.
Wisconsinite that's leading the Wisconsin, or leading the smallmouth bag. What's he got? 99 3/4. Wow.
Yeah,
That's
that's
a
strong.
big smallmouth bag.
Yeah, that's a giant bag of smallies. If you got 99, almost 100 inches, I mean,
Yep.
Where is this thing hooked?
probably talking 25 plus at least for.
I wonder if that's a sturgeon bay guy or what.
Probably not. The big smallmouth places, they don't. The inches, you'd be better off going to a river. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And catching
That's
some skinny
We're gonna have to
inches that
interrogate
weigh
Ethan here for a sneaky Wisconsin River
4 pounds. Yeah. Because the problem with them Great Lakes fish, as far as inches, I mean, they're big weight fish, but as far as inches go, I mean, probably not the best place to go catch 100 inches. You could have a 25-pound bag of smallmouth and not have 100 inches, especially pre-spawn ones on the Great Lakes right now. So
you talked
probably
about
the
that a
best
lot
place
last
to
night
get
on Serious
longest-
Angler.
Yeah, probably the best place to get long ones would be a river system. They don't weigh nothing, but it doesn't much matter in this format. Pretty much just all about the length.
Bailey, where's your biggest smallmouth bag come out of doing this format?
Biggest smallmouth bag lengthwise, it was probably Cayuga. I think it was around 99 and a half. But
that'd have been a big bag of smallmouth. They're fat there.
That's for sure. They're pretty.
Yeah, that's a
chunky
25-pound bag probably.
But yeah, our Great Lake smallmouth, as you guys all know, they don't get too long.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, there's another guy from Minnesota in the top 5 that has 99 inches of smallmouth. I think he's right behind the guy in Wisconsin. If I remember from last night, Pete, we were looking at that.
Yeah.
Ethan, what's his name? Let's give him a shout out here. Eric Scrivener. Eric Scrivener.
Scrivy.
Mm-hmm. Damn.
That one feels big.
Whoa. Was that a hair jig fish?
Yeah. It's hard to tell on the smallmouth. The 3-pounders are the meanest ones, no doubt. Like this thing's not big at all. Like that big one I caught this morning, he didn't hardly do nothing. 3-pounder will just beat you to death. This thing isn't even 3 pounds.
Are you using your hair jig rod or is that Chris's hair jig rod?
This is Chris Johnston's.
Okay.
I'm doing pretty much all my tubing and drop shot. Well, I got 2 drop shot setups, one with a decent size hook and a decent size line. I'm using my hair jig rod for, and then my tube rod, and wow. Then I got one set up on that little 610 light BLX, but that's the one I got 6-pound line on, the little baby hook. It wasn't even a 3-pounder. Okay.
So is there a reason, Seth, that in some scenarios you choose that your 7.6 rod for a drop shot over that 610 BLX?
Yeah, I mean, if I'm like if I'm using decent line and a decent hook, that's the rod I'm using every time. Sure. The only reason I went to the little, really light, small rod is just because I got like 6-pound line and it's the babyest little tiny like bluegill hook in there. So, which seems to make a difference on the beds sometimes. They can't see the hook, and then the light line seems to make a difference on spawning fish. But I'd probably never fish the line that light if they weren't. You know, if they're just swimming around, I usually throw like 10-pound line at them.
Gotcha. Well, I guess now's a good time for we have a special guest coming in later on here that'll I'm sure will chirp you a little bit. But can you give us kind of a breakdown for people who are not familiar with Mille Lacs Lake, how Mille Lacs Lake kind of fishes and kind of how it lays out? We're looking at it on Pro right now with the wind layers on, but kind of explain kind of the layout of the lake and how it typically fishes and why this month is considered Hero Month up there on Mille Lacs.
Oh yeah, this is the month everybody shows up, and I mean it's the first week of June. You know, I mean it's full on spawn for the most part. And that this lake, I mean, it's basically a giant circle. There's not a lot of places to hide, not a lot of places to get out of the wind, and it doesn't fish near as big as it should for the acreage. A large majority of the lake is what they call the mud flats or whatever out in the middle, which it's a shallow lake. It's 30 feet out in the middle. Just basically a giant mud sand flat out in the middle. And the rock's pretty limited. It's pretty easy to tell on the map where all the rock is, you know, all the humps and points and stuff like that run out into the lake. That's pretty much where the smallmouth spend most of their life. Is on those rock shoals and whatnot. There goes Dougie's running by us right now. But
Josh Douglas, if any of you don't know.
Yeah, he's out guiding. But yeah, the lake's pretty big, but it still fishes pretty small as far as you know, the rock structures go. There's not a ton of it for how big the lake is, and then makes it a little hard to get out of the wind. But the one thing I've noticed this time of year is like the north and east side seem to warm up faster. I'm sure that's because of south and west winds, which are prevailing this time of year, you know, in the spring. And like the fish right now we're on the west side. We started on the south side. When I was over there in practice, like I did not see a fish that wasn't on a bed. I saw a few cruising over here on the west side, but the south side's like the furthest behind. They're pretty much all spawning. I really wanted to get up on the north side because that's like right now we're in 62-degree water. It was 61 on the south side. And then Monday when I was up on the north end, it was glass con. You go wherever. The water was 68 up there. You know, there was a lot of post-spawn fish. I was seeing, you know, groups of 20s and 30, or, you know, packs of 20 fish swimming around, cruising. They're biting top water, hair jig, whatever you can fish for them, you know. Whereas on the south side, like I said, it was pretty much all spawners. There's a little bit of post spawn going on the west side, but that north end, just everything happens first up there in the spring. So those fish are a lot further along than they are down here. But I don't think I'm going to be able to fish up there at all today. It's just going to get worse. It kind of wasn't blowing right away in the morning, but now it's pretty well full tilt. So it's just going to get worse. We're going to be pretty limited over to this west side here, but yeah, that's pretty much how the lake sets up. Like I said, it's just they're pretty much all keyed in on the rock stuff. And like I said, if you look on the map on the Omnia app, it's obvious. Like any outcropping you see on this lake is rock. Where it comes up, there's a hump or a big point running out. And then the middle is all just pretty much unfishable water, just mud flat. I'm sure some fish get out there in the summer and roam around or whatever, but right now and then most of the year they spend most of their time on these rocks here. Main forage is crayfish in this lake, with the exception of some bug hatches and some young perch. I mean, 99% of their diet's crawfish, so that's kind of why they spend as much time as they do on the rocks, I think.
If someone was going to make the trip up there, what, you know, I think we kind of touched on the baits you think would be key for them to bring right now, the hair jig and probably a drop shot or a tube, something along those lines, some bottom contact, something. And what about in the next month or so, once the lake stabilizes and you're looking at summer patterns?
A lot of the same stuff's going to work. I mean, a drop shot's that's 12 months out of the year for smallmouth. The hair jig bite's going to get better. And the topwater bite's going to get really good. That was already starting on the north side, but down here I tried it. The water's just too cold, and there's just not enough of them up cruising around right now to get them going on it. But the topwater bite's really, really good all of June, even into July. Hair jig works really good. We're going to start having some bug. We got a little fish hatch that was starting when I was here on Monday. It's going to be hard to notice with the wind today, but there'll be a big mayfly hatch coming here pretty soon. That's when you know, that hair jig and the topwater bite gets really, really good. So that'll prevail. And then, you know, Ned rigs, little tubes, and little swim baits, drop shot. I mean, basically your basic smallmouth stuff seems to work all year here. But I really like one of my favorite times of the year to be here is late June, early July. Once all those fish get off beds, you can have some really good days top water fishing, hair jig fishing, especially if you get a fairly calm day. But yeah, like you said, this is the time of year where everyone comes to Mille Lacs. Is, you know, last week of May, first couple weeks of June, and come catch a bunch of spawning fish, just because it's the easiest time of year to fish. You know, a lot of guys come from out of state, and you come up here and have some good days, catch some 4, 5, 6 pound fish, and typically that's the calmest time of the year here too. But I did notice there's some algae blooms starting, and they've had so much rain up here. A lot of the bays are getting dirty just from runoff on the rivers and whatnot. So This lake will get colored up pretty good. Right now it's fairly clear, but it's going to get some color here pretty soon. It's already starting. So
Do you got any other options of places to fish other than Vineland where you are right now? Or are you pretty much stuck?
Yeah, no, I got some fish up a little further up the lake. I'm going to run 2 here in a bit. The problem is just in this area of the lake, all the good stuff's kind of those reefs that are, they're not far offshore, but a mile or 2 out from shore. Those are just kind of a little much for wind right now. So yeah, we're going to be pretty well stuck to this west shore, but I'm going to run it up as far as I can. If we get up by Garrison and I think I can get on that north shore, I'm going to go for it. I know better. I know what it's going to look like up there, but that's probably the funnest place to fish right now, just because they are schooled up and post spawn. You can just fish and catch them up there. Even a lot of these ones down here, you might catch them on a hair jig or shaking them in or whatever. That it could very easily be bed fish that you just wheeled your bait over and they came up and got.
Yeah.
So is the strategy right now, Seth, just throw hair till you see someone on bed and on perspective?
Yeah, I got some marked. This is the one little area where I did catch some just fishing around. But like I said, in practice, the water was real dirty. I think they were biting really good, and right now they don't seem to be. But yeah, after that, kind of going to be the same program, just wheeling a hair jig and keeping the eyes on perspective. It looks like it's going to be a semi-sunny day. We do got some clouds rolling in, but if we can get out of the wind a little bit, we should be able to find some new ones too as well. This lake's got a lot of fish in it.
Well, this seems like a good time to reiterate. Pete touched on it at the beginning of the stream, but make sure you're commenting on the live stream, asking Seth questions. We've got a handful of giveaways that we're doing throughout the live stream, both here in the morning and then again in the afternoon. But make sure you're commenting. We're going to pick winners from the comments. So anything you want to ask Seth, make sure you're dropping them. This also seems like a good time to bring in Ethan. Ethan, do you got a question teed up for us?
Yes, I do. So, Seth, the question is, what do you look for differently during the spawn with smallmouth on a fishery such as Mille Lacs versus a largemouth fishery such as like Chickamauga?
I've never sight fished chick, but on this lake, this is gonna be more like open water spawning, where they'll spawn on, it's all gonna be rock stuff here. They'll get on top of these reefs and these big points, and they really love spawning next to a big rock, especially if you can find one kind of out off the pile. You know what I mean? Just kind of like isolated bowlers. So they don't really have to be bowlers. They don't have to be super big, but they tend to spawn next to larger rocks. And then as far as like a largemouth fishery goes, like Chickamauga, I mean, most of that's going to be like bank related spawning in coves, in pockets, tight to shore. I mean, I'm sure some fish do spawn out on them shallow bars, but I've never messed with them. But a lot of it's going to be, getting in pockets, going in tight and around docks, and just seems like a lot more of that'll be wood related. Whether you have a lay down or a bush or a wood dock pole or something like that. All really good spots to look for spawning largemouth. But, water clarity's got a lot to do with it too. Like the other day, I could see out to like 12 feet out here pretty good out on the main lake. The bays were getting dirty, but Chickamauga's not going to be super clear. So unless you're doing perspective, you're going to be limited to 2-3 feet of water pretty close around the bank. And, really, I'd say a lot of the largemouth spawn on some kind of wood. It might just be a little stick on the bottom or in the middle of a giant laydown or on the inside of a dock. But you got to be a lot more thorough when you're looking for largemouth. Like, you got to put your boat in every little nook and cranny, like go up into the tree, go around every little corner of the dock, where these smallmouths, the way they spawn in this open water, you can pretty much, make one rip down the top of a point or down each side of it, and you can cover a lot of water. You can see so well that, it's easier to, you don't have to be as deliberate with it, where, if you go into a pocket looking for largemouth on a lake or something like that, you're going to, you really want to look in every little nook and cranny, just because that's really high, where most of the smallmouth beds you can see from a fair distance.
So I got another question for you here, but after that, can
Yeah.
we get a leaderboard update? I'd like to see where he's at now that he made that call. But what do we have another one there, Ethan?
Yeah, so more on the same lines of largemouth fishing. The next question is, how do you begin to break down large grass beds?
Oh, that's just really commitment is what it is for me. Obviously edges are a good place to start, and the kind of grass you're fishing has a lot to do with it too. But most of the sweet spots are, depending on how thick the grass are, it might be bare spots or thinner spots in the flat or the thickest spot in the flat. But really when it comes down to like catching them in a grass flat, it's just putting the trolling motor down and fishing your way through it. It's not really something you can just pick out on a map or something like that. It usually has more to do with bottom composition and the way the grass is growing than actual structure. Like more so that than, you know, a hump or a tip of a point. You know, it might just be an area where it's a little harder or an area where it grows a little thinner, a little thicker. But with the grass stuff, it's just a commitment deal for me. Just get on one edge of it, drop your trolling motor, and sashay your way through there. And when you find them, drop a dot on them. And the nice part is in those big grass flats like that, they don't move a lot like a smallmouth will out on like a big rock point or something like that. Usually if you find a little sweet spot in the grass, it's pretty well yours. And they should stay put unless the wind gets crazy.
Nice. All right, leaderboard update now. Looks like your call moved you up. What about 3 spots?
Couple spots, yep. So John obviously still in first here, but Seth was previously in 20th. He's got you can see 2 new catches here that haven't been approved yet, but bumped him up from 20th to 17th. So,
we got a fish on. How's it feel, Seth?
Not big. It was very small. A little baby head shakes. That was on the minnow.
So that was a live scope fish?
Well, blind casting a minnow. That's been working a little better for me out in the depths than the
That's
air.
how I do it.
Yeah. Just blind cast and shake. Looks like a decent one. But, oh.
Better than 17. It looks like your smallest.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll give him a little test measure. You got the board, Brad? I don't think he's very big.
17.75.
It's probably not even that.
In a minute here, we'll go back to the
17-incher. Not gonna do it.
I saw on the standings that Wisconsin guy that was leading the best bag of smallmouth. He got over 100. He broke the 100-inch mark.
Really?
Yeah. And 4th.
Alrighty.
4th place mark.
Sure, yeah.
From Wisconsin.
Wow. Boy, I'd love to know where he's at right now.
So, Seth, I have a question here from a friend that just texted in, and they're very curious. Obviously, you have your fighter fly, but have you ever created your own hair out of your stash?
I haven't. I don't know if it's long enough to do anything with. It's definitely it'd be hard. It'd be like a cold water deal, like a bucktail. I don't think it'd have a lot of action. It's pretty stiff. But I have not. I don't know if I got the length to do much with it, to be honest with you.
Little special edition fly.
Yeah. Maybe do something with the hair when I get a haircut, but I don't know if the mustache got the length.
Hey Bailey, it seems like our buddy's in the waiting room there.
All right, should we bring him in?
Yeah, we should.
All right, let's make some room here for him. Mr. Pat Renwick, what's going on, sir?
What do you got? Is there a bass fishing? Oh, Spider's got one.
Yes, he does.
Oh, yeah.
It appears he's using like a 9-iron. He's over there on Lake Mille Lacs, gracefully reeling in. Is this an American
I'm a little
smallmouth or
jiggle.
an
I'm
Indian
a little
smallmouth?
jiggle stick.
Uh-oh.
I mean,
Are
we
you
are
shaking
pretty well on
minnows?
the res. I am. I'm chowing
You're
up.
shaking
dude.
winners.
Chowing up.
I like it. Hey, this is a tournament against Seth Feider, so I'm the only guy here that actually has a tournament jersey on. Oh, nice. That's a micro, Seth. That's a good one for you.
Is it? I don't think so. It looks pretty small.
Hey, I heard that I'm here to beat Seth Feider in inches, and I'm
17.
pretty confident I can do that.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
And I do like your tournament jersey. What does that say on it? Religion
Notice here
Bass?
that I'm yeah, this is my old radio show, Region Bass Buzz. I'm sponsored by both Strike King and Berkeley. Look at that. I'm one of those guys. Also Luz
Dang.
and Abu Garcia. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not going to kid you here, buddy.
You don't see that nowadays.
Yeah, you don't see a lot of that. You don't see it.
You got a Mercury and a Yamaha?
No, Mercury and Evinrude.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was Evinrude days, Seth. You know.
Yeah. I got you.
Johnson's, I mean.
Now, Pat, you've been lucky enough to spend some time on Mille Lacs with Seth as well, haven't you?
Yeah, and it's horrible every time we go. And over there, he's got another one. The kid's on. I'm Irish.
Renwick effect, I guess.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's called-
that was a jump.
Look at that one.
That was a
Brad,
Lake
come on,
Ontario
Brad,
jump
get the
right
jump.
there.
Brad, get the jumps like Bassmaster, like Latendris.
Yeah, you don't get many on this lake. These are like the diggingest smallmouth I've ever met.
You got a snooch?
I got another 17.
Oh gosh, dang.
Oof.
I go find some bags.
Well, how many? Who's winning this? How many inches?
We've got 108 inches from a
108
guy down in Florida.
Wow.
But smallmouth wise, which is kind of what we're going up against, there's a guy with 100 inches. 100, what is he got?
100 and a quarter, I think.
Yep, 100 and a quarter.
100 and a quarter.
Is he at my sneak spot from Wisconsin?
He might be on a small river outside of Chicago.
Yeah, if he is, then we're gonna rough him up when he sends in the vids. How you doing, Bailey, Kip, Pete, Seth Feider? Good to see you guys.
Good to see you.
Good to see you, Pat.
Excellent. And yeah, I've been on Mille Lacs with Seth many times, and we've had great times there. We even did a live there one time where Seth and I coerced Matt Robertson to jump in the water in his underwear, and we got him on the 360. It was quite an amazing event. And Brad was filming that as well. Omnia Brad. Yeah, it was pretty cool. That's a good
Might
time.
have to do it again now that we got perspective. I think it'd be a
Yes,
little better.
we really got to see what Matt looks like on perspective. That's for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. He was heavier at the time too, so he might not be as easy to find.
I want to see you do it, Seth, so we see if the dart shows up on perspective in your mouth underwater.
Yeah.
He'd have to.
I don't know. Might not have a good return when it gets wet.
Good point.
That's true. Yeah, Mille Lacs is a good time. Last time we were there, we were with Kyle the Killer, Kyle Hildreth, and he schooled both Seth and I.
I'm actually not far from that place where we.
Oh, really? They're not on them. On them.
They were really good yesterday. Nah, it's 61 degrees. It's a little cold for them.
I noticed your Sims gear indicates the weather. See how I did that? See how I did that, Omnia, guys?
That was good. That was good.
Thanks. You guys are
It
giving away
looks
some
nice
stuff.
here, but yeah.
Yep. We're giving
Have
away
you
a
seen
lot of
anybody?
good stuff, actually.
Have you seen Josh Douglas?
Yeah, dude
Yeah.
just left.
Did he?
Yeah.
Gosh, dang it. I missed Dougie. Have you seen James Linder?
No, but I saw Al on Monday.
Did you? How's Al doing?
I don't know. I just seen him.
Oh, you just seen him flying by?
He was just throwing Orange X wrap.
Oh, okay. How about Babe Winkleman?
I don't know if he's out of rehab yet.
Bailey, do you follow Babe Winkleman?
I did a while when I was a kid.
No, I mean now.
Not now. I've heard legends.
You should
Oh yeah, you need to get on his Instagram. It's awesome.
go on Babe's Insta and check it out. And Bailey, do me a favor, please. Do me a favor. Book Babe Winkleman and myself on your show at the same time. Can you do that for me?
Hey, I can't guarantee I'll host it, but I'll give you the platform. It's all yours.
No. I want you to host it. I don't want to be the host, or I just book him on my own show. See what I'm saying? I got plans. I got ideas. I got plans for you, Bailey.
We can make
You
something.
can't do it early in the morning though. You're gonna have to do it like 6,
Noonish.
7, 8 o'clock. Yeah.
The witching.
No, you need it. It needs to be an evening show with Babe.
Hey, we all have the same hats on.
Yes, we do.
That's pretty awesome. But I have a jersey.
Am I the only one not wearing an Omnia hat?
Yeah, that's
Way to go,
hat's okay.
Fighter. You
It's
didn't get the
approved.
memo.
Yeah. There she goes.
Well, this is cool. It looks really good, guys, on the screen. Do you know what what Millie, like I'm sure Fighter knows, and maybe Pete and Kip, maybe Bailey, you might not, but you know what Mille Lacs, why it's named Mille Lacs?
I don't.
I did.
It's
I
an
don't remember.
Indian name. Yeah, it's an
Well, I
Indian
figured
name.
that much. Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually an Indian name, and there's a lazy Indian woman named Millie, and she just was super lazy and lacked in everything, like just didn't do anything, sat around all lazy all day. Millie just didn't do anything, but one thing she could do was she could catch walleye and smallmouth, and boy, that Millie didn't. Yeah, so they called it Mille Lacs after her, and then she just made the law that it was closed walleye season and to the white man, something like that. I don't know, but it's Mille Lacs.
Yeah.
It's a good
lesson learned. Thank you, Pat.
I think it means big lake.
No, it means lazy lady named Millie. It's an Indian.
Oh, okay.
Come on.
Lackadaisical Millie.
Lackadaisical Millie is correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a cool lake.
We should probably touch on some of the prizes we have here from some of Seth's partners here.
What are we giving away?
We got Sims offered up a Glades hoodie, some Challenger pants, a hat, sun gloves, a Challenger rain suit.
What?
Oh yeah, Di was throwing in a Chris Johnson hair jig rod and the brand new Tatula Elite 4000. I know Seth's had some experience with that reel already.
Yeah, I
Yikes,
got
the
a couple
big
of them
arbor
laying on the
spool.
deck. I got the ones I was cracking on the tube around that.
The big arbor. We just learned from Pat Walters about the benefits of the big arbor spool.
That's right. That's right. I'm as well a fan of that bigger reel. Outcast Tackle is going to give away some cage fighters, stealth fighters, fighter flies, perfect net heads, float and fly jigs. Speaking of float and fly, Seth, is that something you could see yourself deploying on Mille Lacs one of these days?
It would definitely work. Real similar to a marabou jig, but a little prettier. But kind of more of a minnow deal, but yeah, I guarantee you'd catch them there.
Yeah. Well, moving on to another partner of Seth's that's chipped in surprises here. Rapala has thrown in a full wrap stack box set. So their new tackle storage boxes, they're going to throw in the whole set of all the sizes of them. Suffix 832 and advanced fluorocarbon. We got red line hooks, some Maverick jerk baits, crossover pliers, and rings. So all of Seth's favorite stuff is up for grabs. So make sure you're shooting your questions in. Make sure you're adding those fish catches to your.
Wait, hold on. The Rapala ad on Dan Quinn just texted me.
Yes.
And yes, trip to the Bahamas with just you and Dan Quinn. One lucky winner. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. Virtually, though. It's a virtual trip.
It's a virtual trip.
Tour of the Bahamas virtually online with Dan Quinn talking about Rapala products.
That's
Enter
awesome.
now. Like and share.
Speaking of questions, Ethan, do we have another one that we can shoot Seth's way?
Yes, we have a couple of them that have been coming in. So, Seth, what is the difference in perspective mode versus 360, and what do you prefer?
Ooh, let's get juicy.
Holy cow.
Yeah. There's pros and cons to both. I prefer perspective mode just because it's live and I can point at stuff. I mean, I ran 360 forever before this. It's got a really good picture. You're not going to see fish moving on a 360. You might catch glimpses of them, but on the perspective, I can watch them move around. But the perspective does have some limitations once you get out in deep water. Like if you're gonna fish boulders in like 30 feet, 360 might be better. But I think I'm just a lot quicker and more efficient with perspective. Just because I can move, I can point right at whatever I'm seeing and I can watch fish swim around live. Where 360, you're just basically getting a delayed image no matter how you cut it, and not like a video picture like you do with perspective. The 360, you got a wider range, or it goes all around the boat. The perspective, I'm kind of looking at less than 180 of what's in front of me, but I prefer perspective. Like I think you spend a lot of time waiting for 360 to load and come around, and nothing's ever exactly where it is on 360 unless you're like anchored or something, just because by the time it pops up on your screen you have moved a little bit, and the perspective, you're just watching it all live. If you see a boulder or something, you can point right at it, look at it and watch fish swim around at it. But there is a depth range issue with perspective, and maybe that can be fixed with the mount. You might be able to just have to point your deucer down a little more. But if you're in 15 foot of water or less, the perspective's definitely the deal. I could see a little argument for 360 in deeper water, but other than that, I think perspective's the way to go.
Good answer. Good answer.
Ethan, do we want to do one more here?
Absolutely. So how do you fish river smallmouth differently versus lake smallmouth?
Lake smallmouth, depending on the time of year, a lot of them will be deep. When I get on a river system, I mean, it's all relative, but majority of your river smallmouths, with the exception of like St. Lawrence, we're just talking like a true river, dirty river, they're going to spend, almost their entire life in less than 8 feet of water. And a lot of,
Look at this.
they're going to spend a majority of their life in 8 feet or less.
They're scrappy today.
Yeah, they are.
They're jumpy. They're not jumpy on this lake.
It's because of the camera. They're kind of shy.
Could be. I did have one big old Lake Ontario jump off of one of them, but the river smallmouths, they're all about current, and then real shallow. Most of those fish you catch on a top water pretty well all year. I don't think
That looks longish.
It was longish, but not long enough. Where lake smallmouths are going to range a lot from shallow to deep and back and forth, and more structure related than anything. Where a river smallmouth's just going to be on like current seams or kind of shelves that the current's rolling over nice, and real shallow. Like a lot of the good river smallmouth stuff is sub 3 feet, especially if you got some color in the water.
Those are my favorite.
Or not. Yeah. Oh,
mean.
Yeah.
Just
I enjoy them too. Yeah.
And it
Yeah,
seems like
you can catch them on top water almost all year,
and a swim jig, actually. And they get right in the current, it seems like. Agree or disagree? Like right in it. Like just love sitting. Oh, jeez.
Oh, dang it. That one felt decent.
Did it?
It did.
Pat, did you quit tournament fishing
Probably,
just recently?
Probably only because it got off.
Yeah, I already withdrew from the tournament. Honestly, I took that jersey is sitting in the studio here at the Straight Cast studio up on a hanger on the memorabilia wall, and I thought there was like something crawling on me, so I had to go change my shirt. I didn't know there might have been something inside it. It hasn't been touched in years.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I DQ'd myself already. So
Nice.
yeah, I don't know. Kip, I'm glad I didn't put that shirt on. I actually had that one down there.
Seth, was that on a minnow or were you?
Yeah.
Or,
No, I'm kind of just screwing off. There's a area I kind of want to run to, but I don't want to.
It's called the
Are we
Choder.
only on for another like 15 minutes or so live? Is that the deal?
Yes, I believe you're right.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna stick it out here. I'm just kind of.
You're throwing the Choder head.
Trying to luck into one right now. I got an area up the lake a little further. I'm going to run to, but I'm not going to waste 10 minutes of your live stream bouncing across Mille Lacs. So we're just going to kind of drift this out. And
yeah. Oh, good. See, tournaments are decision making, and that is a decision that paid off for Seth Feider right there. I would just say, and he appears to have hooked a good one.
This one feels okay.
It does. It's
got bigger head shakes.
Got a call fish, Seth?
Things change.
Yeah, we got a caller for sure.
Nice.
See, that's decision making in tournament bass fishing. He's a derper, that Seth Feider.
He is.
And now back to you, Ronnie.
That was a good one.
That's a beauty. Good job on the camera, Brad. I feel like I'm there with you.
Is Brad peeing off the back of the boat?
He's peeing and he's filming, and he got the power pole lean.
I think that's just Jordan Lee, guys.
Oh, is it Jordan?
Right.
Jordan had 2.5 legs.
Oh, look at that crawdad he just picked up. Good thing it's not a weight tournament. We just lost a quarter pound.
Oh, what do you
There
spit
we
out?
go.
All about it.
Big old crawdaddy.
Look at
Big
that.
old crawdad.
Look at that. That's the cradle of love, Seth Feider. When you cradle him like that, that's the cradle of love.
Oh, he's a long one. He's 18 something for sure.
Oh,
Let's see what we got here.
Who is that?
That's Brad there.
That's
with
Brad.
The
Wait, who's
OG back
filming?
fishing hat.
Ben, cameraman Ben.
Oh, you got 2 people on the boat. I was
Yeah.
so confused. I thought
yeah.
Brad
Looks like
was.
we had a 18 3/4. You got him,
Oh,
Brad?
That's how you virtual
Oh.
derb set
That's how
fighter.
you virtual derb.
18
Yeah.
3/4. Probably,
Internet
I
high
don't know,
five to the people fighter. Yeah.
3 3/4.
Boom. That's how you
Got a
do
little fishing caddy, if you will.
it. Yeah. Yeah.
I love it.
And great job on the board, Brad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Brad's
really
been
good
killing
job.
the board.
Fine boardsmanship. I haven't seen anyone handle a board like that probably since the 82 Classic, the Bitter Classic, the Jim Bitter Classic.
Yeah,
Hey, anyway.
he's killing it. I had him flogging this morning in like 3-footers. I don't know. I don't know if you guys have flogged in big waves before. It's not much fun.
Are his eyes
But,
black and blue?
He got a little wet. Got a little wet.
Brad's a flogger now.
Yeah.
I like
I've been calling him a flogger for years.
Good morning, America.
All right, Seth, what did you capture that last one on? Shaking the minnow?
Yeah, shaking a little manner.
So can you explain your setup
Just
for
blind
shaking a minnow
casting
to
it.
the folks? I'm talking
Okay,
line, reel, rod, everything.
Yeah, this is actually your reel, Pete.
Is it?
Stole
Thank
this
you.
From you. Yeah.
You
Yeah. I don't know. There's most of the guys I know that do it. They tend to like a little longer rod. I'm on this little 6'3" Kage, medium. I just feel like I can bounce my rod a little better with it.
That's
Shorter
that
one, and then
Iowa?
force.
Seth,
Say it again.
that's that new Daiwa one that you got there.
No, it's not. It's not real new, but it's the one I've been using this year, anyway.
Is that 10-pounder rod?
Yeah, it's 10-pounder rod, my little crappie stick.
Okay. I got you. I know which rod it is. Yeah.
Yeah, so a little 6'3", a little short handle. I like it for like actual scoping, just making real straight cast wherever my arrow's pointing. Getting a
There's
little
James
love
Linder.
from the neighbors in the legend. So yeah, I like it. A little short rod. I got 8-pound braid on here, 10-pound fluoro leader, and I got a little smaller reel on here. I think this is a 2500, I believe. It's one of Pete's old fancy Steezes with the super shallow spool. I stole it from him just because I wanted to be more like Koya. So yeah, that's my.
Can you explain though
on that note,
why the smaller reel, smaller spool for specifically the minnow shaking stuff versus where we've always run the big stuff?
Yeah, I just feel like it balances better and I can bounce the rod better. I'm not trying to get my tip up most of the time, kind of keeping it more level, or even down like I am now just because of the wind. So I don't want a lot of like weight in the back of the rod. And then when I'm bouncing the handle, it's kind of like fishing a jerk bait. That little handle's kind of clearing my elbow and my wrist and stuff, and just never really getting in the way. And yeah.
On the line portion of things, Seth, are you have you adopted the loop knot for shaking a minnow, or are you still using
I got off the loop knot. I was on it for a while. I just have not found one that has like any sort of strength to it. At best they were maybe 60-70% strength with a loop knot, and that's just unacceptable for me. Maybe I just don't know the right one to tie, but I've gotten away from I think the loop knot gives your bait some better action, but I haven't found one that's strong enough where you ain't gonna boat flip a 3-4 pounder on it, or anything like that.
Pat, have you been deploying any of the minnow shaking techniques in the Chicagoland greater area?
Yeah, usually I'm throwing that coal shad minnow on 20
6-incher,
yeah, and a 6-incher in about 4 foot of water from the big stick.
Nice.
I have not. The only time I've ever I was fishing with choder once and picked up a spin pole with the secret choder rig on it and was shaking it for a minute, and that was good enough for me. I mean, but no, it's so this year on the Bassmaster Elite Series, I've had the honor to ride along with a bunch of great sticks who are really good. at the periscope, the forward face. And I've seen these boys just smashing on the shake minnow. No doubt about it. It's a tool. It's a accentuating tool of the live scope. That's for sure.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So to answer your question sincerely, and I never throw that. You know me.
Yeah. I was curious to get your input on it.
I get more like you guys had a question earlier, Seth. How do you pick apart a weed bed? That's just what I do. I'm just get lost in things like that for a day. You know what I mean? Or just go and flip every gosh dang lay down on the river till it's time to go home. You know, that's what I do. Yeah. Hey, but believe me, if I had forward facing, I would not kick it out of the sack. Believe me.
No, I gotcha.
It seems
Bailey,
like
how about you? Have you been deploying the minnow shaking deal in your tournaments?
Yeah. It's a little bit more of an orchestra doing it from a kayak, but it's definitely works over here, especially that late summer deal. But
yeah, have you been doing it? Have you been on that trend for a while, or is it something this year that you've been really hard on?
Probably the past 2.5 years.
Wow. Okay, so you're an early adopter. Okay, I'm last year. So you're ahead of me on the time on it, but any specific like setups you're using to deploy shaking the minnow? We're learning about that here at Omni with our customer base and what the vendors are doing to like make rods and reels and line for specifically doing this.
Yeah, I think it's kind of cliche, you know, the standard 7-foot medium, kind of like we were talking about last night. I think the only thing different aside from what Seth was talking about is I use that the Revo rocket from Abu Garcia, just a little bit faster of a reel to get that bait back and make a cast quicker. But
gotcha.
Beyond that, same line setup, 8-pound braid, mixed between, you know, depending on what the fish are saying, you know, from 6-pound tests up to 12-pound test fluoro for leader.
Gotcha.
But that was kind of eye-opening watching Kyoya go up to a pretty much heavier leader for Toledo, and that's changed some eyes, at least for
he was just proving a point of how dumb the American bass is. He's like, hey guys, I'm gonna throw this thing on 16 and my leader is gonna be about 12 inches long just to prove to you how stupid your bass are. That's all that was about.
That's awesome.
Before we dive any further into live scope here, it is our time for our first giveaway.
Beautiful.
So we're
nice.
The first package we're giving away is the Sims package. Again, that includes the Glades hoodie, Challenger pants. Hat,
I love that
gloves.
Glades hoodie. Sorry to interrupt you, but
No, you're good.
it's the best sun hoodie made.
There we go.
You love that.
And a Challenger rain suit. So Ethan's got them teed up here. We got a commenter. Ethan, who do we got winning the Sims package?
Well, it looks like today's winner is going to be Jordan Flat.
Jordan Flat. All right,
Flat.
awesome.
That dude's
Jordan,
awesome.
we'll be reaching out to you here after the live stream, but you just won
Kid's a heck of a
yourself
spinnerbait fisherman
a
too.
giveaway.
They call him the spinnerbait kid.
Nice.
Jordan Flats from Oklahoma.
Yeah, that's quite a package.
Nice package.
Yeah.
That is
that sun shirt's even got a pocket for your darts on the front.
That's why you like it. Let's get real. And it's a nice.
It's like that super
Cotton.
soft cotton. Yeah, it's like them old t-shirts. You know what I mean?
Makes you feel like you're at a Foghat concert, Pete.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Before we wrap up this live here, there's a question here I think that just needs to be asked.
Do it.
It's coming over from the X/Twitter side of things.
Oh wow, dirty.
Yeah.
Oh,
Dirty.
Asking Seth, if you had to do a charity boxing match, who would you fight?
who would I fight?
He's a
Think
lover.
hard on
That
this
kid's
one.
a lover. He ain't a fighter.
Yeah, there's about 4 people on planet Earth I can beat up in a fight. And one of them I can't even pick on because he's got Lyme's disease. Yeah.
I knew where that one was going.
JT Tompkins.
I'll fight Trey McKinney. Yeah, and JT Tompkins at the same time.
Let's do
At
that.
the same time.
Whoa, yes. One in each arm, and spin him around like a crazy
I
uncle.
could handle
You got him with the crazy uncle and just spinning him around in each arm.
Yeah.
Welcome to the party, boys.
I'll have a dart in my mouth too.
Yeah, it'll be great. Now get me a beer. One he is.
Like, you ever seen that clip on Instagram? Like that dude in like the business suit. He must be over in like Thailand fighting like two little Asian dudes. He's like chugging a beer, and he like, that'd be
I've
me.
seen
and then,
that one. Yes,
and
yes,
then
yes.
everyone's seen it. I know, you know what I'm talking about.
At least let's reenact it. Let's talk to Bassmaster social media and see if we can't get some cameras at the next event, Seth. I'll try and put that together.
All right.
I dig it. I dig it. How much time we got left, Bailey?
We got 5 or so minutes here.
Okay.
So we reach our hour, but you guys will keep going strong for later in the day. Be joining the Bass Talk Live crew and things like that. So when we wrap up here, guys, where can people continue going to watch live later for today?
Yeah, so we're taking a 2-hour break after this. We're jumping on with Matt at noon Central Time.
Noon Central, yes.
And you can go to the right on our homepage. There's a tile for this event, the SETH FEIDER Virtual Derby. And in that homepage, there should be a link that will send you right to that live stream. So check it out on our website. It'll bring you right to when we're live at noon.
Yeah. And if we continue to get this great support and good participation here in this live event, we're hoping to soon pull off one where Seth and Pat Renwick go head to head junk fishing on some small rivers. So that's something I think that's going to be a blast.
Head to head.
Yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be fun.
He's an Elite Series angler. I'm a talk show host. I'll go with him and I'll clean up on his sloppy seconds like I usually do and manage to get some good ones. And I'll talk the whole time. But my mama didn't raise no dummy. I'm not going head to head against a Bassmaster Elite Series angler or pretend that I will. Because listen, man, if I ain't catching them after a freaking hour or something, I'm already going to want to be at Long John. No, I'm going to want to be at Perkins with Pedro. That's where I'm going to be if I ain't catching them. Okay. So I'll hang out with Seth. And
what about you guys have a joint bag to go up against everybody else who gets like 2 weeks of fish? Yeah, you guys.
That's illegal in Minnesota.
No, it's legal now in Minnesota. Actually.
Like a combined bag of fish. I thought. Yes. Never mind. My mind was somewhere else. Serious Angler podcast. A joint configuration bag, like a congenial twins. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Conjoined twins. Yes. We would be that, and we would tie each of our arms together and fish the whole day.
I think it sounds
the right. I get the left.
Yep.
I've already seen
share a pair of bibs and let her rip.
Yeah,
people love this, guys.
And then I could hear Seth more because he mumbles all the time. If we were joined like congenial, am I saying the word right, Kip? Can you Google that? Is it congenial? Conjoined twins?
I mean, I think you've got
just Google BBC. Kip, big bait concept. Big bait concept. Okay. Anyway, Fighter's on the big bait concept right now, shaking his minnow like usually.
Yes.
Yeah. Little 3-incher.
Seth, I think Pat touched on something that I just realized. Maybe we need to tape earbuds into your ears all the time because I've heard everything you've said today while
so
fishing
nice,
in the
isn't
wind
it?
on the cone mode. It's
beautiful.
Wonderful.
He says beautiful things. I love it.
I know. We've spent days together in the boat where I don't know what he said the entire time.
We should always mic him.
Yes.
Yes.
And we were worried about the
tape was a lifesaver.
This is we can hear everything you're saying.
Yep.
It is great. Right down to the dart exhale.
Boy, Mille Lacs looks pretty right now. From right where you're at, it looks like we all should be out there right now.
That's how cameras are. They never give you the true. I mean, there's not big waves right here. We're in sub 1 foot shop, but we're also 30 yards off the bank too.
We can make it up tomorrow.
What are you gonna have for lunch, Seth?
2-hour break.
We could.
I got me a sub from Quick Trip this morning.
Oh, okay. The old QT sub. Excellent.
That's actually KW or KT. Sorry.
KT.
Yeah.
Not the QT.
Do you have any ice in the boat?
No. It's like
he doesn't
60 degrees out.
Mayonnaise stays good. Like anything 78 and above, he'll worry. He won't even worry then. At the Sabine River, he might worry, but nowhere else. Otherwise, he's
you can't. Yeah, I don't eat at the Sabine River.
Yeah,
I just drink Pedialyte
and throw up.
Are you looking forward to your Alabama trip, Seth?
Yeah, I can't wait to go down there. I just love 100-degree days and no wind. Like, I'm bitching about the wind today, but like it won't blow this hard the entire time we're in Alabama. It'll just be nice, steamy 105. Wake up to
Bugs.
I don't know, probably 82 in the morning when you get up, before the sun gets up, and
Nice.
just a nice 100, 105 cooker, no wind.
About how many wake boats are going to cut you off on tournament day?
Ooh.
On Smith Lake?
Oh, and Smith, yeah.
Got somebody running us down. I don't know what's going on.
Oh man.
I can't hear anything they're saying. What are they saying?
You got some fishing game?
Oh,
let me talk to them. It's
they're
fishing
leaving
game. I'm
now.
gonna
Get
handle
a
this.
shot of them. They're taking off. They done runned up on us.
Oh,
Yelled
that
some
was
things.
nice.
I couldn't hear what they said. They just wanted to say hi.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it wasn't fishing game. Gosh dang it.
No,
You
no,
got
no,
it up
no.
your
They're
17-incher
They're
hole.
cool. They come in the back. Oh, I'm in the midst
Do we
of the boat.
do we have a
right now.
leaderboard update, by the way, before we go here, so we can let everybody know how dicey this is getting here?
What's the leader's name? How do you pronounce that?
I'm not going to try.
I'm not even going to attempt.
No.
Fuchs.
Let's see.
Seth's
Feeder?
moved up to
Oh, yep.
15.
Peter and Fuchs.
Seth's up
Joe
to
Maz.
15. He was at 17 before. So that
Leaderboard
18
jump.
incher pushed him up a little bit.
Okay. Seth's
That's
at
the year 3 move of the day. Seth Feider up 2 places.
Yeah.
96 3/4. We're looking good, Seth. We just need another 20-incher out of you.
Yeah. No. I got some bigs coming. I got some room to call. I honestly only got 2 good fish right now. Man,
He's doing really good.
I don't even know what I had, to be honest. I know I got a 21 and a 20 and a half, and then the other 3 are just whatever.
The other
Click
3
on click on his 21. Let's see the picture of that fish.
Oh, that's a beauty.
There it is.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that.
That was a pretty fish.
Yeah.
Oh, you might have been able to get away with 21 1/4 there.
Yeah,
you
we
can-
thought about it, but then I wasn't that worried about
That's not
it.
his style.
It's a beautiful fish.
Sure is. Sure is a tubber.
Yeah, that was the first one in the morning. I was feeling pretty good, so I let the quarter inch slide. But my
Might be
nature
regretting that later.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably. It's okay.
How does
It's
that work
okay.
anyway? What's the rule around that? If it's a little over, do you round up, or what do you do there?
Bailey might be the expert on this one.
I feel like it's got to touch the whatever line you're calling it at least.
Gotta
I don't
touch
think if you're, if
All
you're
right, so
20
there-
and 7/8, you're still 20 and 3/4. You're not 21.
Yep.
I call it.
I'd round up. That's what I do.
375 in my boat's a 4-pounder, Hoss.
I know.
I'm
That's
with
because
you,
you live
Pat.
in. That's because you live in Chicago. That's the only 4-pounders you have is 3 3/4.
So Fighter on the Pat Walters show on the last straight cast, he's like, what? I'm like, what's the biggest farce in bass fishing right now? And he says, BFS, bait finesse system. I'm like, Fighter says I need to get that because it'll make the size fish I catch seem real big. So,
That's what it's made for, dude. Like if you fish a pond or if you live like where there's not
Japan.
good fishing, where you're catching like a 3-pounder is a big one. That's what BFS shines, I think.
I just got one. Abu just sent me one.
Yeah.
BFS in the heck.
Catch a bunch of 2-pounders on a little tiny, that little plug you like, and put it on a little rod like that. It'd be fun.
Oh yeah.
Well, Bailey, thank you so much for doing this. And Pat, you're awesome as always, coming on and
guys are
helping us chirp Seth. And we're looking forward to this afternoon to see if Seth can move up this leaderboard a little bit more.
Yeah, I got some work to do.
Looking forward to tuning in. Any closing remarks, Pat?
No, thanks for having me, guys. It's really cool that Omnia is doing this, and thanks to Sims Fishing for being a part of this whole deal too. Appreciate them as well. And Fighter, you're doing great. I mean, I thought you'd do really good at this, but I think you got a nice jump early. And this is your tournament, son. This is your tournament to do. And damn it, Seth, you are somebody. Hey, when the Russians bombed Pearl Harbor, they didn't give up. They just kept going. And you're in 15th place, and you can do this. You can. Mille Lacs. Become one with the lazy Indian woman. Okay, do it.
Lackadaisical, not
Yes.
lazy.
Lackadaisical. Thank you.
Perfect.
Lackadaisical.
Cool. Well, gents, I think we should close it out. We got a video clip here of Seth catching one this morning. I think we should close it out with that.
All right, sounds good.
Absolutely.
Thanks again, Bailey. We'll be in touch, man.
Thanks,
All right,
Bailey. You're awesome.
We'll see
Thanks,
you guys.
boys. I'll
See
see
you,
ya.
boys.